A regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of the McAllen Independent School District will be held Tuesday, September 10, 2024, beginning at 5 p.m. at the Dr. Ricardo Chapa Boardroom Administration Building of the McAllen Independent School District, 2000 North 23rd Street, McAllen, Texas, 78501. Items listed on this agenda may be taken in an order other than as shown on this agenda. Unless removed from the consent agenda, items identified within the consent agenda will be acted on at one time. At this meeting, there may be discussion and action by the board on the items and subjects listed as follows. Call the meeting to order. I have done so at 5 p.m. And now we will have a moment of silence. Thank you, and please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comments, we have one, Natalie Vidal. Ms. Vidal. Do you want to go check in that front real quick, Natalie? We'll give her a second to go check.
She had signed since last week.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she's not on.
No? Okay. All right. So no public comments then. We move on to item number 5, Superintendent's Reports. 5A, Celebrating McAllen Education Foundation. Dr. Gutierrez.
Yes, Madam President and Board of Trustees, we have a video that's celebrating the McAllen Education Foundation. This video is being played at football games, and it includes teachers who are recipients of the Education Foundation grants, and we want everyone to take a look at the video that we have. Go ahead and play it.
The McAllen Education Foundation proudly supports teachers.
Since 1996, the foundation has funded innovative teacher grants worth more than $550,000.
And benefited close to 60,000 of our students.
These grants allow us to explore our imaginations and open new worlds for our students.
They even help kids participate in a study abroad program in Spain.
But they cannot do it for free.
They raise funds by hosting a bowling tournament and helping with the superintendent's golf tournament.
And we appreciate those sponsors who made it happen.
You can help too by donating at the McAllen Education Foundation website.
The foundation is a group of philanthropic citizens who care.
They care about students and teachers.
They care about our community.
Thank you, McAllen Education Foundation, for all that you do.
Very nice. Thank you to the McAllen Education Foundation for all they do. Item 5B, Adopting the Texas Way. Dr. Gutierrez.
Yes, this is also another video that we've been also playing at the football games, and this is a statewide campaign called the Texas Way. This is a campaign promoting sportsmanship among fans as well as the athletes. And go ahead and play the video.
Hi there, I want to talk to you about something.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Having you in the stands means the world to me.
But I need to ask you something.
I've made a commitment to play the Texas way. That means I play with respect for others.
I will not let my opponent become my enemy. I will not cheat or cut corners.
I've made a commitment to play the Texas way. That means I play with control of self.
I will slow my anger down. I will act based on my standards. I've made a commitment to play the Texas way.
That means I play with the spirit of competition.
I will prepare myself inside and out. I will bounce back when I get knocked down.
I will compete with a passion to be my absolute best.
So my question for you is this. Will you commit to support me the Texas way?
That means having my back. It means cheering loudly.
But it doesn't mean putting other people down.
It doesn't mean yelling at the ref. It doesn't mean letting your passion become a distraction.
You say it, coach says it, my actions are about more than just me.
It's about representing the name on the front of the jersey and the name on the back.
It's about more than a scoreboard. It's about using sports to become all that I can become.
And having fun while doing it.
I couldn't do it without you, and I wouldn't want to.
I've made a commitment to the Texas way.
Will you make it with me?
That's nice. Thank you. Item number 6, recognitions. We have none. Item 7, proclamations. We have none. Item 8, donations. We have none?
No.
Darn it. Next time. And item 9, consent agenda items. And I believe we are pulling item 9G at this time.
Correct.
And then I need a motion to approve consent agenda items A through L.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by trustee Regalado and a second by trustee Rivera. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes 7-0. Okay, and then, do you want to? 10.
Madam President, I move that we reorganize the agenda to bring up items 10D1 and 10D2 to be taken up next.
Thank you. I have a motion by trustee Regalado and a second by trustee Rivera to move items 10D1 and 10D2 up. There's no 10B2. 10D. D as in dog, sorry. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes 7-0. So we move over to 10D1, business operations report regarding annual tax collections for the period July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2024. Dr. Gutierrez.
Yes, Mr. Paul Villarreal, who's here in the audience, he's our tax assessor collector for the Hidalgo County Tax Office. He will be presenting our annual tax collections for the fiscal year beginning July 1st of 2023 and ending June 30th of 2024. Mr. Villarreal.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be before you, Madam President, board members, Dr. Gutierrez. On the way over here, I asked my tax manager, can you give me the date, or at least the month and the year that we started collecting for the McAllen School District? And we started back in September of 1996. So today, this month is 28 years that we've been doing the services for our school district, your school district.
Thank you.
Great. If you have the tab number 1, we have the McAllen ISD annual tax report from July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. Under tax collections, we have the current, delinquent, and rollback taxes. We have the base amount, penalties and interest and attorney fees for a total collected for 2023 to 2024 McAllen ISD, $87,444,770.66. If you look at the disbursements, we're looking at attorney fees, commissions and costs, pretty much rendition penalties for a total disbursed to McAllen ISD of $87,444,770.66. If you go to tab number 2, I'm not sure exactly where it's. On tab number 2, under the 2023 current, keep going some more, so I can till I can see it. 2023 current breakdown. It took us a full year to do these collections, and I'm done like in 2 minutes, you know, right there. Okay, 2023 current. On the current collections today, last year we collected $94 million. This year we collected $83,600,000 in base. As you can see the difference, the percentage we're good, 96.99 from last year. This year 96.40. But the difference is, you can see that on a lot of the exemptions that were approved here on November of 2023, the exemptions to homesteads and value reductions. On the next page, we have the chart for 5 years, 2019 through 2023, The percentages was 96.45, 2020, 96.65, 2021, 97.42, 2022, 96.99, and 2023, 96.40. On the next page is just the chart pie, that tells you that we collected 96.40% out of 100, so the outstanding is only 3.60%. So I think overall we did great this year, and we're looking forward to this coming year. I should get the tax rate hopefully by September 30th. I already have the values. As soon as I have the tax rate, we'll calculate a tax roll, and then I can come up with the tax statements and send them out by the last part of October and start collecting for you. Any questions, please, if you have any?
What's going to be our tax levy for this coming year?
This year, I believe, let me see if I have it here. It's going to be about 86,308,000. 86,308,000. We did not have the levy when we did because of the election that they had, but I do have it here. It's 86,308,387.07.
That was quick. Thank you, Mr. Villarreal, for joining us today.
Thank you. Appreciate you all. It's a lot of new faces, and I appreciate what you do being public servants to our children here in McAllen School District. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We move on to item 10D2, report regarding the delinquent tax collections for the period of April 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2024. Dr. Gutierrez.
Ms. Kelly Salazar, oh, she's here already. Ms. Kelly Salazar is from Lineberger, Gogan, Blair, and Sampson will present the delinquent tax collections report for 3 months of April 1st, 2024 through June 30th of 2024, including which is incorporated in the annual report for the 23-24 fiscal year. Go ahead, Ms. Salazar.
Thank you, Dr. Gutierrez, President Peña, and esteemed members of the board. I'm happy to present your fourth quarter report, and I include fiscal year end numbers as well. This fourth quarter, we completed 2 demand mailings, mailing over 1,000 statements to delinquent taxpayers within this jurisdiction. During the fiscal year, we completed 9, mailing over 13,000 statements, alerting individuals of their delinquency and trying to get their attention in order to come into our office and work out a payment arrangement or to pay their taxes. During this fourth quarter, we made or received over 1,600 phone calls, had 114 payoff requests, and knocked on 87 doors within the community during the fourth quarter. During the entire year, we completed over 4,500 phone calls, 434 payoff requests, and knocked on 191 doors of taxpayers in this area. Looking to the next page, litigation is only the final resort to collect delinquent taxes owed to the district once our efforts of mailings and phone calls and knocking on doors prove unsuccessful. During the fourth quarter, we filed 24 lawsuits, disposed of 32, and took 11 judgments. During the entire year, we filed 116 lawsuits, disposed of 134, filed 7 tax warrants, and those are for business personal property accounts. And we have 285 lawsuits pending, reflecting over $1.6 million in base, penalty, and interest owed to McAllen ISD. We regularly conduct tax sales and resales on delinquent accounts with little to no effort to pay, again, only as a final effort to collect. During the fourth quarter, we conducted 1 tax sale. During the entire fiscal year, conducted 7 tax sales. And during the entire fiscal year, we placed 11 properties for sale. 5 sold, 3 were pulled due to a payment in full, 2 pulled due to payment arrangements, and 1 pending payments, and 1 due to payment arrangements. Looking towards the next page is a collection comparison for the fourth quarter alone. You'll see in the fourth quarter, our collections this fourth quarter exceeded last fourth quarter with over $354,000 in base collected, over $168,000 in penalty and interest, for total collections in the fourth quarter of over $523,000. Looking towards the entire fiscal year this year, our collections this year exceeded last year in collection dollars. We collected over $2 million in base taxes, over $656,000 in penalty and interest, for total collections of over $2.699. it's hard to say all the numbers in one. Over nearly $2.7 million. I'll get tongue-tied. Looking forward to the next quarter and the next fiscal year, we will continue filing lawsuits as necessary, making our best efforts to have one-on-one contact with the taxpayer. We also represent this district on any accounts that are pending in the bankruptcy courts, and we will continue our mailing program and our property tax sales only as required. Before I conclude, I'd like to thank your Deputy Superintendent of Business and Operations, Ms. Lorena Garcia, for attending the presentation that we conducted at Region 1 in partnership with Mr. Villarreal's office and the Appraisal District. He alluded to the increase in the homestead exemptions and its impact on his collections. It's also impacting our collections, and I hope that was useful to Ms. Garcia, and it was also available and taken advantage of by other districts within Region 1 as well. So that's part of the ongoing partnership that we have with Region 1 and the tax office and the Appraisal District. So be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
I have a question, and I should know the answer to it, and I don't know if I should ask you or. So in the first presentation, it showed our taxes are, the amount was 86 million versus the year 22-23 was 96 million. And I was just wondering, the delinquent taxes is about the same. It was like $2 million, even though it was $96 million. And then it's $2 million when it's $86 million, and we're collecting $10 million less, but it's $2 million in delinquent taxes. Like, what do you think is more people are delinquent, right? I mean,
well,
the percentage is a lot higher now.
You're not going to believe this, but prior to coming here, I was plugging in numbers in an Excel spreadsheet because the homestead exemption has really had a large impact on both of our offices and our collections, and it's affected our ability to predict future trends. Because, and when I say homestead exemptions, I think we're all generally aware that the community voted for an increase in homestead exemptions from 40,000 to 100,000, and so as a result, refunds have had to been issued by the by the tax office as a result of the appraisal district by law going back a couple years, and it just has all kinds of impacts and predictability. Long story short, there are more accounts. Thank goodness, we're a growing area, so Mr. Villarreal's tax base has increased, and so that's also kind of had an impact also on his delinquent tax roll. So there's a lot of different factors. Be happy to workshop it because it's very interesting. Yeah. I mean, to those that are, I think Ms. Garcia can attest, it's like there's a lot of different components to it that if you like numbers, you like to dig into it, there's a lot of opportunities to learn here and a lot of questions.
Interesting.
Yes.
Thank you.
I do have a question, but I think it's mainly for Mr. Villarreal. I know that some counties, if you pay your taxes in October, they give you a 3% discount. If you pay in November, 2% discount. If you pay them in December, 1% discount. And then if you pay in January, you pay your actual taxes. And that's just to entice the taxpayer to pay early and to be able to collect the taxes as early as possible with an incentive of a discount. Has Hidalgo County ever considered doing that for our taxpayers, not only in McAllen, but in the county?
Really, no. The county judge and the county commissioner, I think, in order for me to do the 3 to 1%, the county would have to allow it. But I'm going to say that a property that's worth $100,000, they come over here and pay 3%, and maybe they're paying $2,000. They're going to save 3%. Walmart, H-E-B, the oil companies are the ones that are going to save millions of dollars. I think I would rather keep this money for us here than them taking it somewhere else, because we're the community in the valley. And those people, they come to work here, but most of it, and that's what I've heard from them, you know what I'm saying, that I could save maybe $20, $30 on my house and my parents' house, La Colonia is where they live. But big companies are the ones that are going to come in and pay the 3%, 2%, and 1%. So that's what I hear every time that somebody asks.
Exempt them, just the homeowners, only the homeowners.
Oh, you're talking about
only the homeowners.
Defining the homeowners. Well,
only the homeowners, not the big corporate.
I don't know. There's a law right now that allows just for the homestead for that 3 to 1 for the school district, but that can be maybe discussed with the appraisals, because they're the ones that give the exemptions, but that's a good question, in the future. I know that I started working at the county back in 1985, and I've never seen that 321 in Hidalgo, but I appreciate the question, so we can look into it more.
It would help the homeowner to have a little bit of a savings on their taxes.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
I think that's it. Thank you. Thank you both for coming.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Great evening. We are back over to item 10, instructional services, instructional leadership, human resources, business and operations, and Board of Trustees. Item 10A, instructional services items. 10A1, report regarding advanced placement AP and International Baccalaureate IB program. Dr. Gutierrez.
As requested, the administration will provide a report on McAllen Independent School District's advanced placement and international baccalaureate programs. Ms. Karen Nitch, Director of Advanced Academic Services, will share this information. This is based on the discussion we had at the last board meeting to bring this item for a presentation to the board, and this is for informational purposes only. Go ahead, Ms. Nitch.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Gutierrez and Trustee Peña and Board of Trustees. I'm happy to be here to present on the AP and IB program. I think it was the week before last, you did hear about the dual enrollment program and the successes there. So we're going to just wrap it up with AP and IB. We're going to start with the AP program and just some background information. Really, the importance of the program is to build college readiness. And then through that whole college readiness program, students are able to participate in building their skills, such as their study skills, their time management. They attend prep sessions. They go to after-school tutoring. They are able to take the courses that they want to take and participate fully in those courses. 85% of the colleges and universities report that a student's AP coursework favorably impacts admission decisions. So we make sure that the students know that they should try to have at least 1 or 2 AP exams, AP courses on their transcripts, if not more. The students who receive a score of 2 or higher on their AP exams are ready for college work. Okay, so a 2 is college readiness. And then students who score a 3 or higher on AP exams experience greater academic success and have the opportunity to earn college credit. Of course, when students are able to earn college credit, they're able to then maximize their time spent in college, the 4 years that they're in college. They're able to oftentimes pursue 2 degrees, a double major, or graduate early or go on to take a master's degree within those 4 years, or participate in internships, which is really important, or in study abroad programs. Oops. There we go. So here's our data for the AP program. In 23-24, our students took 31 different exams with about 29 different courses that are offered here in the district. If the advanced placement program were a high school, we'd be the largest high school. We serve 2,334 students. Those students took 4,235 exams. We graduated 16 students with AP capstone diplomas. 1,576 students earned 3, 4, and 5. And then the percent of students earning 3, 4, or 5 was 37%. One of the things that makes us unique in the Valley is that every student who enrolls in an AP course will take the exam at the end of the school year. We don't let them opt out. So we did have, I did include at the bottom the 2024 score summary. 32% of our students scored a 1, which I was really happy with that. That means that these are probably first timers who are enrolling in AP and are new to the AP program. So they're in there still learning college readiness skills. They're still attending prep sessions, tutoring, collaborating with others, being exposed to that rigorous coursework. 31% of the students earned a 2, which means they were college ready. 37% earned college credit with a 3, 4, or 5. So I think we had 68% success rate overall. That's how I would look at that. The college credit hours earned, 4,728 potential college credit hours earned with $1.7 million in potential tuition savings. The cost to the district is $532,594 just for the AP courses and the exams, textbooks, teacher training, extra duty pay. The International Baccalaureate Program. This program provides the students to really drive their own learning through two sets of courses in the diploma program, the standard and higher level courses. That students develop skills through IB academic courses, the IB core, and various projects. They develop research skills, learning across disciplines, critical thinking. They have to take a second language at Lamar Academy IB, so they do develop their language skills and or earn the bilingual diploma, which is new. I would say new, like in the last 6 years. Of course, taking the International Baccalaureate shows that you have academic stamina and then the breadth and depth of coursework. Students have to take 6 subject groups, and 3 to 4 of these courses are taken at the HL level, the higher level, and 3 to 4 are taken over 2 years at the SL level. To earn college credit, the students have to earn scores of a 4 or a 7. If they complete the IB diploma, Texas guarantees 24 college credit hours. Usually the students have more than 24 college credit hours. And then they earn up to an additional 12 credits for the IB bilingual diploma. So here's your data on the IB program. We offer 20 International Baccalaureate Diploma Program courses. This year we had in 23-24, 68 diploma program students. Those students took 547 exams. 87% of the exams were in the passing range. The students earned 22 IB diplomas and 54 regular diplomas of those of the diplomas earned. And then that was a 79% diploma pass rate. So if we look at the score summary below, you can see that 82% of the students did earn a 4 to 7, and that is a wider range than the AP. AP is a 3, 4, or 5, and this is a 4, 5, 6, or 7, a 4-point range. 18% of the students earned a 2 to a 3, and 0 earned a 1. So the students earned about 1,728 college credit hours, which was a potential savings to families of $634,000. And the program, just for the diploma program costs $83,950. The bulk of that is exam fees, and then the fees that we pay for professional development, books, and licenses. So when we talk about the programs, everybody asks all the time, what's the difference? But what's the same? Both of these programs offer rigorous coursework. Both are very reliable measures. Both can provide students with college credit and college readiness training. And then through both our programs, the students can earn an additional diploma opportunity or an additional diploma. So we have the AP Capstone Diploma, the IB diploma, and the IB bilingual diploma on top of the high school diploma. AP is very flexible, and students can take 1 class, 2, 4, 5, and they begin in 9th grade. The IB program is a comprehensive program requiring commitment, a 4-year commitment. Of course, students do drop when they realize that they don't necessarily want to be there all 4 years and they want to go back to the comprehensive high school, but it is a 4-year program. And both these programs are available to families at no cost, which is really, really nice. So I was requested to do a 1-pager. So you do have a 1-pager here of the data that I've discussed. So it's really a 1-pager of the AP program, the International Baccalaureate, and the 3 dual enrollment programs that we have. When I think about how many college credit hours earned, the students have earned overall with all these programs last year 18,908, And this is a potential savings to parents and the community of $4.6 million in earned college credit. So that's really exciting to think that our students are able to leave with all these different courses. I like our program. I like how we've set up our program because we give students the opportunity to try different types of courses. They could take STC dual and be exposed to the coursework there and their platforms, their learning platforms. Same thing with on-ramps at the university level. They can take advanced placement as well. So they're able, or IB, they're able to take a variety of coursework. Are there any questions?
I have a question, Ms. Nitsch. Why do you think the IB enrollment has dropped so much? I mean, in 2020, there was 88 students, and now there's, what, 65 students? Do you think that it has to do with scheduling issues? Like maybe back in the day, they could come back and forth a little bit easier for like fine arts or athletics, or is there anything that we can do as a district to alleviate problems? Like, I mean, is it just that it's the coursework is too much, and so they're like, okay, we're going to go back to comprehensive, or is it, well, I can't be involved in orchestra, or I can't be involved in mariachi because of conflicting schedules? It's something that as a district, if we looked at it as a whole, we could have, our schedules different. Do you think that has some part of?
Well, I think one that we offer multiple opportunities for students to participate in advanced coursework at the high school campuses. Mm-hmm. And then second, I do think it is some scheduling, and I do think that emphasis has to return. I remember in years past, it was always setting the targets of 125 to 140 freshman class, mm-hmm. and then trying to keep that enrollment going for all 4 years. So I think that if we go back to setting those targets and really working with the campus in that admissions process and recruitment, we can get back to those bigger numbers. It really happened after COVID that we saw a decline as well, but it is it has to be very targeted there at Lamar to bring in students and follow through with that.
Just on that note, my son graduated IB 2020, and his freshman cohort was probably the largest cohort that they had ever seen, because administration said everybody needs to go in, everybody needs to be accepted, and so the application process was a little bit different for some students, and which was really a disservice to a lot of students, because we saw that number in that cohort drop drastically because they weren't ready. But a lot of them did stick it out, and it was probably one of the largest graduating classes in 2020. I think now the application process is a lot better streamlined, and we are getting the right students into the program that want to complete the program for the long term. So I think it's also that was a glitch in that 4-year period. But I think also we need to do better as a district to inform not only our own parents, but our private schools that are around the area. I know this year we had a huge influx from OLS and different private schools in these freshman classes, or I guess in the last couple of years. But we really have a gem in our district that we don't promote enough. It's basically like a private school education that we can offer, where they can also have a rigorous learning environment and gain college credits, but we don't advertise it enough. A lot of parents have no clue. They don't know when the applications are due, how to get an application. I mean, we share it on our own social media, but not so much to the community. So I think we could, not only through IB, but AP Capstone, I mean, that can be huge marketing to steal other students from other districts, because we do a great job, obviously, in cost savings to families.
Yes.
In that same vein, I didn't mean to impose on you for that day to do the comparison, but I greatly appreciate that you did it. I know, or my understanding is that our IB program has a capacity of, what is it, like 120
So the school has a capacity of about 600.
Okay.
You could put 600 students in that building.
Okay.
Uncomfortably, but you could put 600 in that building. So max, the target's always been about 425, 400, 425, because we also had the options program there as well.
Right.
So we've always aimed for 400, 425, about 100 per grade level. So, but when you start fluctuating numbers too much, that affects staffing. And so right now we're staffed for the numbers that we have. So when we increase at one grade level, our freshmen, then that swells up that freshman class, and then they have to go through that 4 years, and then that impacts what comes up ahead as far as staffing. So we have to be real careful how we do that increase and do that incrementally, so that we're not having a big swell of kids. We've had that happen. At the freshman level, we have a lot of freshman teachers, but then not enough teachers later on when we need them at junior and senior year.
Okay. And as far as the licensing part, because I think the amount was about 20,000-ish for books
Both.
and licensing. Does the license, is that per campus, or is it for number of students, or how are we being charged for that?
Per program. So it's about 10,000 for the diploma, 8,000 for the middle years program, 8,000 for De Leon's middle year program, and about 7,000 for the PYP at Bettis.
Okay.
So it's per school.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Sure.
I have a question about the AP scores for 3, 4, and 5 for college credit. Is 37% a little low? Or how does that compare to other districts?
I will say 30%, that's why I made a comment at one of our board meetings. 37% taken out of context does sound very, very low. But when you add the context of we're forcing all 4,000 students to take it, other school districts, the teachers will encourage students not to take it, that they don't think that are going to score 3, 4, or 5s, so that their numbers, their stats look different, so that they look like they have 100% of their students that are performing at 3, 4, and 5 level. And so if you look at it in that context, oh, they're doing great AP, but really we're doing better. We have the same number of students or more scoring 3, 4, and 5, but if you just look at that percentage, I mean,
right.
Yeah, so
Do
perfect answer.
Thank you, Trustee Aliceta. Do we provide any study sessions or any materials for AP
We sure
testing?
do. We provide at least 4 Saturday prep sessions each year, at least 4, and those are district sessions, so that all the teachers together for a particular subject join together at one campus and then provide the tutoring. And then we do have a lot of prep material. We have mock exams. In fact, this week the students are taking their first big mock exam, and that's a full-blown mock exam. And then we'll have another one middle of the year, and then of course the end of the year. So we do have a lot of support built in for our students. This is all about growth mindset and inviting as many students as we can to participate in our advanced courses. We want students who are shy and shying away from taking advanced courses to participate. That's our goal, and we really talk about that with the teachers. And so we try to do as much as we can for support teachers, then also have after-school tutoring sessions on their own.
Okay. Yeah, because I imagine that a big hurdle would be these assessments, and if we can provide support, which we do, that would be something that is a little bit more enticing to students and families. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Oh, I do want to say, just real quick to close it up, there's a lot of people involved in the AP program and supporting the AP program. I think of all the different departments that support us, you know, from delivering tables and tagging books and, you know, helping us move kids from campus to campus. There's just so many departments, so it's not just advanced academics. And of course, everything that the campuses do and y'all do. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nitch.
Thank you, Ms. Nitch.
Thank you, Ms. Nitch.
Good information. Item 10B, leadership, instructional leadership items. Oops, 10A2, sorry, Mr. Science, you're up. Item 10A2, discussion and possible action of equipment purchase approval request under the Department of Labor grant number 24A60CP0002888-01-00. Dr. Gutierrez.
Yes, acquiring the Gleam Virtual Cockpit Basic Aviation Training Device systems will directly support our aviation program by providing students with a hands-on experience using cutting-edge technology. Mr. Leo Science, he is our Director for Career Technical Education, and he'll have more information on this item. And also like to take the time to introduce Mr. Leo Science to the board as our new CTE Director that just started a couple of months ago in our district. And we are recommending action on this item. But go ahead, Mr. Science.
Thank you. Madam President, members of the board, thank you for having me. I come tonight to mention our aviation grant. We were awarded a $200,000 grant from the Department of Labor through the Office of Congressman Vicente Gonzalez. And so it really covers the entire program of aviation for this year completely. And we actually have some money left over, like $222 left over. So we're going to utilize that money as well, so don't worry about that. But we're coming to you to give us the opportunity to sign off on buying purchasing the equipment that is needed as the flight simulators. It is written into the grant. That's part of the reason that we got the grant, and we were awarded the grant. So we were looking for your approval to have that done. And just so you know, just kind of for more information, currently the kids that are in there, there's 24 students that are in that program. They're actually generating about $111,000 in CT funds, right? And so it is a good program. I will tell you that I'm super excited when I got here that this was part of the program, because if you were not aware, the aviation program was a regional program of study that you had to apply for to have it as a region. Coming from the Region Service Center, I knew we had to make the application, and that application wasn't done by us. It was actually done by one person in the whole region, all 38 school districts, who was Mr. David Lyons from this school district. And once he created it, this year to now, he created it last year. This year, it's now become an approved program of study. So now the entire state gets to take advantage of it. It was written. It had already started as a regional program of study, but when he sent in the new curriculum, they approved that curriculum, and now they made it an approved program of study. So it's super exciting to say that we started it here. So I'm excited about that. I'm guessing that's part of the reason we got the $200,000, and we're going to start continue to look for more monies for that program and continue that program here.
That's wonderful. So it's cockpit simulation program?
Yes. Right now they actually have one little screen. I want to say it's like a 19-inch screen, and it got some handles. But this is a three screens with an actual touchpad that simulates exactly what's in the plane, so they actually don't have to fly. So before they go up in the air, they practice on that the whole time. Actually, it was written for one, but we were able to find one that was less expensive, so we were able to buy three with the same amount of money.
Okay, that's nice. Thank you. I need a...
I move that the MISD Board of Trustees approve the equipment purchase approval request under the Department of Labor grant number 24A60CP0002888-01-00.
I have a motion by Trustee Aliceda and a second by Trustee Rivera. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you, Mr. Science. Welcome to the team.
Thank you.
Good work.
The door's open if you want to come by.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then now, item 10B, instructional leadership items. 10B1, report regarding the McAllen Independent School District's approaches to leadership and learning model. Dr. Gutierrez.
Yes, Ms. Jeanette Nino, Associate Superintendent for Instructional Leadership, will have more information about this. This is an information purposes only item, but we just wanted to present to the board a new leadership model. We have kind of a new team in the leadership administrative team at McAllen ISD, and so we are kind of like rebranding and looking at a new model for this new administration, the board, and moving in a new direction altogether. And we wanted to present it to the board first before we present it to the rest of the district and the leadership team. So Ms. Nino will present on this item. Go ahead, Ms. Nino.
Thank you, sir. Good evening. So just as Dr. Gutierrez has given us some background on this work, it's always nice to make connections out with our staff, with our students in our community. And this was an opportunity to rebrand our district's mission, vision, and values with the support of our new leadership from our school board, from our superintendent of schools, and just from collaborating with everyone from across the district. If you go to a department in our district, if you go to an event in our district, if you go meet students in the classroom, staff, everywhere, you can tell who McAllen ISD is. And so this was an opportunity where several district and campus staff got to just collaborate about how do we share our story and let people know that students matter here and they all have an opportunity to thrive here at McAllen ISD. In addition, simplifying communication, I think, is always key, not just for those of us in sharing our message, but those of us that are reading about who we are in our school community. So we had 3 opportunities of coming together over 2 weeks to just basically brainstorm around purpose, brainstorm around branding, brainstorm around simplicity of what we already currently have in our district. So taking our current strategic plan, the goals, the 4 goals, our current strategies, our current mission and vision statements, and then really adding to what Dr. Gutierrez brought to our district in his leadership model of the effective schools model. And at this time, I really would like to thank those that were involved in this work from both our campus and our district staff. If they are present here tonight, I appreciate their time this evening. We had Ms. Patty Peña lead one of our subcommittees, Mr. Richard Roberts lead another subcommittee, and Ms. Lisa Sines. And along with them, we had Principal Herrera from Cathy Middle School, Ms. Treadla from Fields Elementary, Diana Peña from our CTE department, Ms. Lisa Cavazos, Ms. Jenny Ann Vega, and Principal Alfredo Gutierrez from Roe. And just again, taking what we have currently in our district, our 4 goals, really saying how can we make this more visible, but also simplifying the literature for those that are going to be looking at this moving forward, still circled around student achievement, student focus, people development, facility priorities, and financial priorities, and taking our current vision and mission statements in the same meaning, just making them, again, simplified in their context and in their definition to one sentence, to 1 sentence each. Along with that, our strategies remain the same, just again simplifying the language, along with giving quick definitions of what those strategies currently show in our district strategic plan. And again, incorporating Dr. Gutierrez's effective schools model, just refining it to read successful schools model, and including a lot of those umbrellas that we share, again, in common here at McAllen ISD with academic achievement, community engagement, having high expectations, being future-focused, effective leadership at all levels, safe facilities, and, of course, teamwork. And all of those 3 illustrations now composed together make the new McAllen ISD leadership model. And so those are now found in the circle, the core of who we are at McAllen ISD, circled by that green one first, which are our 4 goals of the district. And then the second circle in that Columbia blue would be our strategies of how that pursuit is done. And then that last outer circle in purple is the outcomes of successful schools model. And all of this together, again, I think you will find in common, again, whether we're visiting campuses, we're visiting events, we're talking to board members, we're talking to principals, we're talking to teachers, counselors, and all in all, being able to, highly effective organizations are always able to have customer service beliefs, right? So while we have customer service standards currently where we help support staff engage with individuals on the other side of who our customer base is, we also want them to know, well, what do we believe in as a district? And we believe that all voices matter, all minds engaged, all hearts connected, all barriers removed, and all students succeed. And with that, these individuals on these committees also said, let's just take the opportunity to say we are all in. And rebranding what McAllen is all about, which is that A+ experience, but now taking it to a full gold of all. And now that is our approaches to leadership and learning framework for the district, and truly being all in. And hopefully this new framework is completely staff and student centered. We are going to be presenting this after today's presentation on Thursday to our principals and our directors at their monthly meeting. And then in 2 weeks on September 25th, We'll be presenting it to our Leaders in Education Assembly for the district, which is our lead committee. And just again, being able to talk all around one common language, which we do, but now just having that displayed for what our community can see and just get to know us better in a more simplified manner. So we do appreciate the opportunity as committee members to just come together and have this time of refresh and refocus. And we appreciate your support as well. Thank you.
I just ordered something with the all white letters. Now they're yellow. It's okay. I'll use a highlighter. Good.
I love the all. I've always felt like in McAllen we have it all. I'm like, we offer all. We offer more certifications than any other school district. I mean, I love the all. We can use it for all sorts of things. All sorts of things. No, but truly though, McAllen, we do have it all. Other school districts don't offer the AB programs. They don't have the dual language. They don't have all the certifications that we have. We truly do have everything in this district. I mean, for every student of every capability. And so it always floors me when people pay money to go to a private school when you can get it for free here at a public school. I've just never understood that, never will. I love the all, so thank you all. Congratulations. That's really, really well done.
I love this too, and thank you for this presentation, and thank you everyone who has been working on this. I love the philosophy and the theory behind it, and I think we can all agree that sometimes it's hard to merge theory and day-to-day practice, especially in a school district with so many different pressures. So just hoping that as the committee continues that we either develop or we employ actionable items that really reflect some of these for both of our students and teachers, you know, making sure that we are highlighting all the voices, all the hearts, all the minds, I guess practicing what we preach. And I think that we do, but just to continue working on that and making sure that we implement actionable steps. Like, okay, we're talking about this, now what are we doing that we can show, right? So that's just my 2 cents.
Thank you.
Is that all?
No. Well, if you can go back to the models, we wanted to simplify the model, and we really did not. We already have the 4 goals, and as districts that as you develop goals, they always say keep it short, like small number of goals. In this case, we have 4 goals, which is the green part of the circle, the inner part of the circle. The blue part is the strategies we already have the strategies. So we really haven't changed anything that it's already exists in McAllen ISD. All we're doing is incorporating them together with the effective schools outcome, which is a purple circle around the purple circle, and that's the effective schools. So what we've done, we've incorporated the existing goals, the existing strategies, and then embedded the effective schools model into it. And this is what we wanted to simplify the model from what we previously had. We had too many gears or circles, and honestly, we just wanted to see where everyone could understand and identify with this model in a very simplistic way, but keeping our values, our mission, and our vision in also simplify it, but keeping that mission and vision in mind. And they've done that as well, and simplify that. And so the new logo about McAllen ISD, we're all in, is, like you said, Ms. Trustee Lee said that we're all in for our kids.
Yeah. Thank you. I want to thank all y'all. All y'all. All y'all.
Y'all all.
I'm gonna come up with some really great stuff. Item 10C, we're going to pull that item. So we are moving on to 10C2. Discussion and revision to policy EHBE local. First reading, Dr. Gutierrez.
Revision to policy EHBE local focuses on dual language program admissions of students and assessment policy. The revisions being requested reflect the district's practices, such as offering the dual language program at designated campuses. Dr. Canales, Chief Human Resources Officer, and Mrs. Rocio Nava, Bilingual ESL Foreign Language Department Director, we'll have more information about this, and this is for information purposes only, since it's only the first reading. Ms. Nava, would you like to just give us an overview about this policy that we're adding some more language into it, just for the board to know this before, for the first reading?
Yes, of course. Good evening, everyone. My name is Rocio Nava, Director for Bilingual Department. So one of the regulations that we follow to serve our emerging bilingual students is Chapter 89. It was updated in August 2023. And as a result of that, there were some changes that needed to be made. One of them is the revision of our EHBE local policy to reflect the practices for our district on the implementation of the dual language program. So some of the requirements is for us to discuss our goals, our ability to provide equitable access to this program to our students, the eligibility, and our expectations for our students. So that's what it's reflected in the changes in the policy. And I can answer any questions or go more in detail. But we do offer dual language program in our district at 7 elementary campuses, Head Start, and Fossum Middle School, Achieve Early College High School. This is the first year that we'll have a cohort in 12th grade at Achieve Early College High School, so it will be the first cohort that we graduate for dual language. We offer and abide all state regulations, which are now reflected on our local policy.
I don't have any questions, but I have a comment, and thank you for all the work you do. This could be ironic coming from me, but I'm monolingual. But dual language is just beyond important to me. And I think that a lot of people don't understand that there's a difference between being bilingual and biliterate. All of my UTRGV students who come from Spanish-speaking home, it's their first language, you ask them, they are not biliterate in both languages. They're neither here nor there. And that's due large in part from programs that they went through. There's a lot to be said about sustaining language, especially Spanish, especially as it's becoming the growing population, not just in the RGV, but in the United States. Any other country you go to, students are biliterate in 2-3 different languages. So I'm really proud that of this policy and what you're bringing today, because I think it's so important to promote not just biliteracy, but biculturalism and biliteracy. Did I say that wrong?
Bilingualism, biliteracy, and biculturalism.
Yeah, the B3. Yeah, exactly. And just to give a shout out, we have many schools that do it great, but Sanchez Elementary, I mean, if you guys go to that, there are people from all over the United States, New York, that go and they're like, how do you do this? Because it's difficult and it's tough, but we do it really well. And to highlight that, I'd like to see this program grow among a lot of schools over time, but that's just my, I said it again, 2 cents.
We share the goal, yes. As a district, we're committed to serving our students and opening the opportunities to all of them. And we have exemplar dual language teachers across our district and exemplar implementation in our campuses. So we're really proud of who we work with, because it is thanks to them that it's working and,
Right.
and it's benefiting our students. So we're also celebrating literacy and multi-literacy this month. So
Right, but like no other program creates biliterate students. I mean, we have early exit, we have bilingual. That's like if you graduated English as a first grader, reading level. So making sure we have thorough dual language throughout is also...
making sure that we sustain those practices. Yeah. And as a requirement, we're required to offer in elementary, but as a district, we're committed to offering that to all of our students, even in secondary campuses. And that's why we have that in our middle schools and our high school, so that we can continue that biliteracy in the upper grades and making sure our students are prepared for the university and the global world, the competition that they're going to face in university and in the workforce.
Yeah.
Good work.
I will say, though, just to kind of echo what Trustee Killeman was saying, back in the day, we did have it at every single elementary campus. And then we had a different board, a different superintendent, and they decided to shrink it back down. And so it's only at a few elementary campuses. It might now be a time to relook at that program, reevaluate it, and see if we would like to go a new direction now and put it back at all the campuses. We didn't have UTRGV that was a bicultural, biliterate university that all of our students could go into now. So now might be a good time to look at that program and decide if we want to invest in putting it back at all the elementary schools. So I concur with you. I think it's very important.
And we agree we can expand gradually and to have it available in all the campuses. And it is with parent permission and participation in the program. And it is for our EB students because it is designed for them, for emerging bilingual students. But we do have the ability to open it up to other students who are non-emerging bilingual and want to be bilingual, biliterate, and bicultural. So yes, we're here and we're here to serve you. We have the tools, we have the resources. We can certainly work together.
Thank you, Ms. Nava. It's
Thank you, Ms. Nava.
amazing things going on. So congratulations, good work.
Thank you.
We already went through 10D 1 and 2, so we're going 10D 3. Report regarding enrollment for the 2024-2025 school year. Dr. Gutierrez.
This is a report from our Strategic Partnership and Student Outreach Department. The report will include an update on enrollment, recruitment, and recapture efforts. Mrs. Elizabeth Cavazos, Director of Strategic Partnerships and Student Outreach, is here to answer any questions. This is an information purposes only item, but I wanted to put this on the agenda for today's meeting to give the board an update as far as our enrollment numbers. And so we're completing the third week of school, and I wanted to give a report to the board on enrollment per campus, district-wide, and in comparison to last year. So go ahead, Ms. Cavazos.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Gutierrez. Good evening, Board of Trustees. Happy to be with you. We'll get started. So this little table here, this little graphic here shows sort of the story of enrollment that we've had over the last few months, right? So we ended the 23-24 school year with 19,879 students in enrollment. That was as of the last day of school in May of 2020, that should say 2024, not 2023, excuse me. Over the summer, though, we were very, very optimistic and very excited to have 20,601 students, what we're calling engaged. What that means is that many students had completed a re-registration, a new registration, an application as a new student, a transfer. The transfers, this number would include the transfer approvals, offers, right? So this is the number of students that we were really anticipating had connected and would be with us the first day of school. August 19th hit, and that number on the first day in seats was 18,581. This data was pulled on September 3rd, the morning of September 3rd. So from just that time, from August 19th through September 3rd, we've increased that enrollment to 19,817, and as of 4 o'clock this afternoon, we're at 19,857. So net change is still positive. We have slowed down significantly the rate of increase, but we're still definitely increasing on a daily basis. When we look at those numbers, and oops, I went the wrong way. Okay. When we look at those numbers and how they compare year over year, that orange line is this current school year, and that blue line is last school year. So you can see that we started substantially higher last year than we did this year. But we increased and made up that difference very, very quickly in a very short amount of time. By day 3, we were already closing that gap significantly. So as of last Thursday, we were just about 157 students shy of where we were this time last year. And again, as I said, daily working to close that gap. Now, since the first day of school, we've had an increase of 1,315 students, and that is recaptures, that's new recruitment. Those are kids that had originally been no-shows, right? They didn't come to the first day, second day, third day, and we've worked to connect them with their schools, as well as new students, right? New families moving into the area. And so when we look at those students, 1,315, the highest number of kids is going to be for the comprehensive high school. So since the first day of school to September 3rd, Memorial had an increase of just under 383 students. Mac High had an increase of about 100 students, and Rowe an increase of 75. So those comprehensives, again, we've yet to crack the code. We're working hard on what the delay is with secondary students and re-registering and getting to school for the first time. We are doing better, though, than we have in the past in terms of getting students in high school re-registered earlier and connected with school sooner, but that is still definitely a code to crack for sure. In addition to those 3 comprehensives, we also have Cathy Middle School, which was right on par with Rowe, with just about 70 students coming in those first 2 weeks of school. And again, each of those campuses has that little green tip on each of those chart bars will show the growth since the first day. They're all inching up, literally. So that's exciting. We've also had a decrease, right? So we have students who have also left the district. This number is also as of September the 3rd, 79 students who started with us. These are not no-shows. These are not the kids that never came, but these are the kids who have come for at least a day of enrollment with McAllen ISD and have withdrawn from the district. Now, I mentioned this number is from September 3rd, so that's just a few school days ago. That number has increased to 171. So that number grows very quickly. Students move. They, from campus to campus, for example, if a student leaves their comprehensive to a instruction and guidance program, for example, students moving, literally moving physically, like their homes, this kind of thing. That number is, it grows exponentially, very quickly. However, our net gain is still positive, which means that we're bringing in enough students to make up for our loss and still result in a growth, right? So that's exciting. Let's see. Okay, so this data right here is September 3rd data, and shows very clearly a nice breakdown of where these students are going. So by far, the biggest reason that students are leaving the district is relocation. So when we code students when they withdraw from from campuses, families tell us, this is the reason that I'm withdrawing. It is relocation. So 80 as a code means that they're leaving us for another Texas public school. 80C is a code that we've adopted internally to say that they are in a public school within our county, right? And those kids, it's great for our team because these are the kids that we're really working to recapture. We know that they're in a district or a program that is geographically very close, if not neighbors, to McAllen ISD, and we can leverage our transfer process to recapture those students. Now, while this data represents the 79 and not the 171, the ratios are holding pretty true. 53% of that 171 are in another Texas public school, 35% locally, and 18% away. So we are targeting very heavy, that 35% of the 171 that are sitting in our neighboring districts to recapture those families. We also have 11% of our leavers who have left and said they're going to homeschool, right? So we're also, of course, working with those families as well. Now, on the opposite side of that are transfer recruitment. So these kids that are coming in, this number right here, or this chart right here, represents about 1,800 students that have an accepted, approved transfer into the district. 836 of those students are McAllen ISD students. That means that they are living in a home. They are zoned to McAllen ISD campus, but they are requesting and choosing to attend a campus that they're not geographically zoned for, right? So I live in the Rayburn zone, but I'd like to go to Hendricks, that kind of thing. That number is 46.37% of our total transfers, and that number has historically been over 50%. We're working very hard to bring that down. It's a slow move in the downward direction, but we're really focused on the value of your neighborhood school and making sure that parents see, understand it, and have an opportunity to at least connect with their home campus before making that final choice. The next top 3 there are Edinburgh, Sharyland, and PSJA. I affectionately call them my favorite partners because we have a lot of their students. But that is where the biggest bulk, and those makes sense geographically. Those are the districts that surround McAllen ISD. All the other numbers after PSJA really drop significantly, right? These are more one-off situations where parents work in the city or work for the district, that kind of thing. I will say this, it's probably my most exciting piece there. 948 of those students were not with us last year. So even if you have a student who is zoned to McAllen ISD, I live in a house that is zoned to Rayburn Elementary, but I've been in a private school all my life, or I've been in a charter school all my life, or my mama works in Edinburgh, so I went with her and I was attending school in Edinburgh. When they come back, as long as they're coming back to the campus that they're zoned for, they never touch this transfer process. They're not asking for anything other than a straight enrollment. This 948 were not with us last year. Many of them are our students that are coming back, but we're leveraging the transfer process to get them to a campus that fits their family's needs. So we're excited for that. In addition, 48 of those transfers, again, transfers, not just straight enrollments. These are kids that are coming in and asking for a school that they're not zoned to. Came from IDEA schools, 31 came from Vanguard, 61 came to us from private school, many of those to the point made earlier for the IB program, and 37 returning from South Texas ISD. This is my team, small and mighty. Myself, Ms. Susan Garcia, who is our transfer specialist, Mary Tarbutton, our outreach specialist, and Elisa Rodriguez, our recruiter. And our strategy has really remained unchanged. We follow the 3 R's, recruit, retain, and recapture. Our fall calendar is filling up quickly. This is the time when we're really out in the community, participating in as many events as we possibly can, making sure that the district and our team is visible. And also really leveraging early childhood opportunities. So for example, our great city library has toddler time, and these are great opportunities to connect with parents who have 2-, 3-, and 4-year-olds who are preparing to send them to school for the first time. Get to read books, and we get to share information, and that's a wonderful opportunity. But our focus is still on early childhood because we still believe that if we get children in at the very entry point of their education, they fall in love with our district, they fall in love with our families, our teachers, and then they get to stay for as long as graduation, right? Retain also, so we, of course, love to recruit new students, but we want to make sure that we are keeping the students that we have. So when we need to, we leverage that transfer process. Customer service is top of mind always. And we are looking to leverage the re-registration, end of year and new year process a little bit more effectively. So it is a goal, and I own this 100%. It is a goal to get every child in McAllen ISD re-registered before they leave us in May, right? Let's make sure that we've got everybody signed up and ready to go for next year. And goals make people do big, ambitious things, right? And so much so that we have families that know they're not coming to McAllen ISD next year because they're moving away. You know, mama got a new job, or we've got a new home, or whatever it is. But we make them do that re-registration anyways, right? So we're looking at doing things a little bit differently to send something a little less time consuming than the full registration, but literally start to learn, you know, will your family be with us next year? Yes, and big brother's graduating, but little brother's starting kindergarten, that kind of thing, and really get a feel for that. And then that number of yeses, plus ones, minus ones, what have you, becomes our denominator that we're chasing for re-registration. And then we have a better handle on what we're looking at in terms of recruitment needs for our various campuses. So that's a new, slightly, just kind of not really a direction, but we're switching lanes a little bit for that process. And then of course recapture, targeting families who have left us through that coding, making sure that they know that McAllen ISD is always an option. You can live anywhere and attend our amazing schools, and that's the message that we share. And that is it.
Good job.
Ms. Cavazos, since
Yes,
I wasn't here last year at this time, but which is the month that McAllen ISD peaks in enrollment?
That's a good question. I'm going to say November. November, yes, to end of October, November. We plateau out. We do take a little bit of a hit right before the holidays, and then it peaks again. The semester mark is a natural break in the year. It feels like a almost like a second first day of school. So if a family is looking to make a change, it's going to be at the semester mark both ways. If they're going to leave us for some reason, either relocation or by choice, or they're going to come to us. So we will see a little bit of a dip right before the holidays. That'll pick right back up in January. January's numbers will look very similar to November's.
So we still have some room for, we're gonna continue
Absolutely.
growing a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, we can get over the 20,000 mark and not be as, not lose like 300 or 400 kids, but maybe, right now, we're at about 160 less.
That's right,
So,
yes.
which is a good thing because we've been in the hundreds before.
That number was around 300 last year. When our team started, my first year, which was 2019, the end of the school year of 2019, we had lost 838 students from one year to the next. So we have dramatically shrunk that gap, but we're done shrinking. We want to now exceed it, right? That's the goal for sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I have a quick question.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
What is our number of migrant families or migrant students, and how does that correlate or come into this chart that you're doing?
My goodness, I'm really embarrassed because I had a conversation with our migrant program staff not that long ago, and I can literally hear his voice telling me the number, and I can't for the life of me think of it right now. But I know that that number is our enrollment number is impacted as families come and go. It's not the like wave of students that you would expect to come in all of a sudden in the fall or leave all of a sudden. A lot of it is actually identifying students who have been in the migrant, whose family has been traveling, relocating for purposes of agriculture work over the last 3 years. So some of those students are with us, and it's about identifying them for services, not necessarily, expecting them to come back. I know that we do have some of that influx, but it won't be like this. All of a sudden, we have these 500 students that are coming in. It won't be anything like that. So a lot of the work is identifying students that are here just to make sure that we're connected with them and providing services that they need. I will definitely follow up with that number, though.
I was just trying to figure out if that was the deficiency that was coming about of the 160, if that was a number, but that was just for me in my head.
Yes, good question. And the work of no-shows and the work of leavers is ongoing. And so it is very important, particularly, for accountability purposes, very important for us to know where our students who didn't show up ended up. And that is where we're uncovering, there's families who have moved, there's families, and for some of them it is this type of work that's taken them away from the area, and we can expect them back. But that work is ongoing through the fall semester.
Thank you.
Have we ever considered incentivizing families like currently enrolled? You know how some businesses are like, oh, refer a friend, get 20% off this or something. I'm just kind of thinking, is that legal, or can we? You can't.
20% off free.
Public funds.
Maybe that's where the 1% discount on your taxes comes in.
Yeah. I'm just saying there's I can think of a few families who have now transferred in from South Texas ISD, and I'm sure if we could help families feel like there's some incentive, not monetary, but even.
They're coming to the best district, so that's the incentive right there.
Well, we had the back-to-school bash, and we gave them a backpack full of school supplies, and that was one way.
Yeah, like a giveaway.
Those kind of things we can do. Yeah, those kind of things we can do. So it works that way. We can give the kids something that they need for like school supplies, and we have plenty of backpacks still left with school supplies. So anyone that's interested in enrolling in McAllen ISD,
thank you.
You can ask for those backpacks.
It's a great idea, though,
school
Liz.
supplies,
It's a great
such
idea.
as that.
Okay, and then do we have data on our teachers and employees here who send their kids and not? Is it high? Is it low? What's going on?
Sorry. It is not a question that's asked. I don't think it's a requirement to disclose that.
Sure.
I think that it's definitely encouraged at every level. So if I meet a staff member whose children go somewhere else, I'm going to give them a really hard time, and good jest, right?
Right.
But I also know that those are very, very personal and private decisions that families make for a lot of different reasons, which is why the work that we do is not in mass, right? The work that we do is building relationships and really talking about what works best for the family. It is it just works out beautifully that in our team, every one of our team members is a McAllen ISD parent, and we believe that no matter what you need, no matter who your child is, no matter what their needs are, their aspirations, McAllen ISD has the thing that is going to work for them. So we're able to have those conversations, but to do like a mass, like, okay, everybody with children come, like, it really is much more nuanced than that. I know we don't collect that data. Again, if we know, we're talking about convenience, we're talking about amazing programming, we're talking about, being part of the district. But to say, I'm targeting this percentage of our employee base, I really don't have that data.
Right. And that just goes back to my idea of incentives for families, but also employees who send their kids here. That could be a way to increase enrollment too. Maybe this is less of a question for you and more for administration. So we have some campuses that bring a lot of enrollment, right? And they're higher than other campuses. So what does this mean for staffing, like in terms of counselors and administration? Are we making sure that we're kind of keeping up with those ratios? Like, let's say Morris brings a lot of enrollment.
Yes, as a matter of fact, when we go to personnel in closed session, we're looking at adding some staff due to numbers. And I've always said, if the kids are here, we're going to provide the staff because they generate the funding for that additional staff.
Right.
And so, as an example, this evening we're going to talk to you about a couple of positions we want to add because there are certain schools that are high in enrollment, and we want to add some staff members that are needed. And so, yes, we're looking at that, and as soon as we see that we need to add some more, we'll bring it to the board. Like tonight, we're going to bring up, I think we have 3 or 4 positions, 3, that we're going to talk to you about adding at a particular campus due to enrollment numbers.
Right. That's just more feedback I've heard.
And to add to that, on our end, from the recruitment standpoint, we've just gotten so much support because of exactly what Dr. Gutierrez has said, and then also in collaboration with Mr. Trevino and our facilities FMO department, because they're making sure that logistically the environment is still conducive for good learning, and how do we maximize space on campus and make sure that it's a good experience for kids. So between HR and FMO and recruitment, like, we're making sure that we can fill buildings safely and effectively and productively.
Thanks.
We have that number for the migrant total. It's about 627 students last year, and we're at about 130 right now. So we're expecting about 500 to come in.
So that migrant number, it will continue to grow, and that would help us with our enrollment. That's good.
Thank you so much for your presentation. What Trustee De La Garza was saying earlier, though, about do we go places and talk about IB and stuff, do we have a speaking series or a talking series where you go out and you talk to the Junior League, or you talk to the Rotary, or you talk to Citizens League, or you go talk to, do we do that?
We do that by invitation, to say that we have like a kind of scope and
Targeted,
sequence,
yeah.
so to speak. Yeah, like a calendar, we do not, but I would love to.
Yeah, I think that would be
to
great,
do
especially, with our UTRGV High School. I think that the enrollment isn't at capacity because people don't know about it. And the same thing with IB is people don't know about it. I mean, if you live in McAllen, you already know about it, but if you don't know about it. So I feel like we should be more strategic in a speaking series. And then, like, if you're going to go speak to, like, the Junior League about UTRGV High School, you would take, Ms. Gonzalez with you, and she would go and sell it with you. And then we give, MISD T-shirts away and things like that, I just think that if there's anything we can do to help you to get into those speaking series, I think that all of us would, we're all involved in different boards and things like that where we could help you get into those to go to speak to those. I did like what Trustee Kittleman said about some sort of incentive, and I know you can't give them gift cards or anything like that, but we could do something to where if in the enrollment or whatever, if there was a referral, like if you were referred by a McAllen ISD employee, that McAllen ISD employee, once they've referred like 5 students and they've been enrolled for 1 semester, they get, a day off, or they get to wear jeans all year, or they get a parking spot, or they get, because one student is $6,000 for us. So, if people were very deliberate in recruiting people because they had an incentive, like they could park in the front or something like that. I just think that there's other ways, instead of giving them a gift card for $500 or something, we could do something to where you get to wear jeans every day, or you get to, once the students are enrolled and they stay enrolled for a semester. So if you come the first semester, then January, you don't have to come back to school you get 2 days off or something. I mean, just something to incentivize people. I think that in all seriousness, though, I do think that's a good thing, because if we're not promoting the district, if our own employees aren't the ones that are out there selling it, then who is? And so we should incentivize them to bring people, if you're at a family Christmas party and half your nephews don't go here, but they're, they don't even have to live in McAllen. They can come here, they can drive from Harlingen. We'll take them, we'll bus them. But I did like that. And at the football games, do we have signups? Do we try and recruit there?
We have done that in the past. We have not been so active doing it. And it sort of goes back to our focus on early childhood. Now, we know families with children of all ages attend. We've done little notes on cars. We've done in the stands. If you have a family that is on the McAllen ISD side, there are families, right? If you have a family that's on the away side, even with small kids, they're there watching someone that they look up to, they idolize, who's on the field in a uniform, playing an instrument, cheering, what have you. That's a hard sell. Like, whatever the opposite of preaching to the choir is, that's what we're doing. So they haven't been as effective as you might think, even though it's a big captive audience. Mark and his team do an amazing job with the scoreboard and making sure that there's lots of opportunities. Our number gets flashed, all of that kind of stuff. Big events, though, like the walks that we host and community events, the Little League series and those kind of things are much more productive for us. So when there are big groups gathered, you'll find us there somewhere.
Yeah, I've seen you in parking lots with like a big thing over your head walking around. It's
Ask me about McAllen ISD.
No, y'all do a great job. So, but if there's any way that we can help, we're all here to help. So we're all in. So let us all know.
I like that. Very nice. You caught on.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Yes.
Anybody else? I just want to thank you for all the work. I always tell you you're a rock star. I mean that. You and your team too, and you always do a great job. When families come to me and they say, my kid would like to go to McAllen ISD, but we want to go to this campus, I always send them to her, and she does a great job of look at all our campuses and pick a great one. So, good job.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cavazos.
Okay, we are on to 10D4. Discussion and possible action on update to MISD policy CDA local, other revenues, investments, second reading, and resolution of the board regarding review of the investment policy and strategies. Dr. Gutierrez.
The Public Funds Investment Act requires each local government to have a written investment policy in place. Policy CDA local has revisions and is being presented for approval. This is the second reading. From last time we had the first reading. And we are recommending action on this item. And if there's any questions for Ms. Lorena Garcia.
I move that the Board of Trustees approve policy CDA local, other revenues, investments, and resolution of the board regarding review of the investment policy and strategies.
Second.
I have a motion by trustee Aliceda and a second by trustee De La Garza Lopez. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes 7-0. Item 10D5, approval of the McAllen Independent School District August budget amendment for fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2025. Dr. Gutierrez.
Administration is requesting approval of the August 2024 budget amendment for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. We are recommending action on this item. If there's any questions, our business department is here to answer any questions on that.
I move to approve.
I have a motion by trustee Regalado and a second by trustee Rivera. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes 7-0. Item 10D6, application to Texas Education Agency for the optional flexible school day program for 2024-2025 school year. Dr. Gutierrez.
McAllen ISD intends to apply for the optional flexible school day program for the 24-25 school year as part of our overall attendance strategy. Texas Education Agency requires board approval for the application. Ms. Cavazos is also here from Director of Student Outreach to provide more information. We are recommending action on this item.
I move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by trustee Regalado and a second by trustee de la Garza Lopez. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes 7-0. Item 10D7, discussion and possible action on request for proposal number 2025-1012, grounds maintenance services for various locations. Dr. Gutierrez.
Administration solicited proposals from vendors to provide these services. Mr. Trevino, our Executive Director for Facilities, Maintenance, and Operations, is available to answer any questions. We are recommending action on this item. This is a three-part motion that we're recommending for the board to consider.
I motion to approve the ranking for request for proposal number 2025-1012, grounds maintenance services for various locations for a term of 1 year with the option to renew for 2 additional 1-year terms.
Second.
I have a motion by trustee Aliceda and a second by trustee Rivera. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes 7-0.
I move to approve that the administration begin with negotiations with the highest ranked vendor. If the district is unable to negotiate a satisfactory contract with a selected vendor, the district shall formally and in writing end negotiations with that vendor.
Second.
I have a motion by trustee Rivera and a second by trustee Regalado. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0.
I move to authorize the superintendent to execute a contract.
Second.
I have a motion by trustee Regalado and a second by trustee Rivera. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. To item 10E, Board of Trustees items. 10E1, approval of Board of Education meeting minutes, regular board meeting, August 27, 2024.
I move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by trustee Regalado and a second by trustee Thompson. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Item 10E2, appointment of board members to serve as delegate and alternate at the annual Texas Association of School Boards, TASB, Delegate Assembly meeting. Administration is recommending action.
Madam President, I nominate trustee Aaron Rivera and alternate trustee Lucia Regalado.
Is that a motion?
It doesn't, it's a nomination.
It's a nomination, so, yeah.
Does anybody else want to nominate anybody? So now we vote on them.
Yeah, now we vote on it. So we have a nomination of delegates, trustee Rivera and alternate delegate trustee Regalado. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes 7-0. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. You are now entrusted with representing us at the convention. Item 11, recess to closed session. Board of Trustees may go into closed session pursuant to sections 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, 551.076, and 551.089 Texas Government Code to discuss the following: 11A, Human Resources Recommendations for School Year 24-25. 11B, Discussion of Human Resources Employee Resignations and Retirees for School Year 2024-2025. 11C, Discussion regarding School Safety and Security. And 11D, Pending and or Potential Litigation. 11E, Possible Real Estate Acquisition. At 6:33, we are in closed session. At 7:45, we are back in open session. Item 13A, discussion and possible action of human resources recommendations for school year 2024-2025. Dr. Gutierrez.
Human Resources submitted a list of recommendations for the 24-25 school year under a separate cover for discussing during closed session. We're recommending action on this item.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from trustee Thompson and a second from trustee Rivera. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes 6-0. Item 13B, discussion of human resources, employee resignations, and retirees for school year 2024-2025. Dr. Gutierrez.
For the 24-25 school year under a separate cover for discussion during closed session. This item is for information purposes only.
Thank you. Item 13C, discussion regarding school safety and security. No action was taken. Item 13D, pending and or potential litigation. Mr. Ball? Thank you. We will proceed as directed. And item 13E, possible real estate acquisition. Mr. Ball? And item 14, schedule of future meetings. 14A, special board meeting, team building training, Saturday, September 21st, 2024, 8 a.m. at the Dr. Ricardo Chapa Boardroom Administration Building. 14B, regular board meeting, Thursday, September 24th. Tuesday, September 24th, 5:30 p.m., Dr. Ricardo Chapa Boardroom Administration Building. 14C, regular board meeting, Tuesday, October 8th, 2024, 5:30 at the Ricardo Chapa Boardroom Administration Building. And 14D, regular board meeting, Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024, 5:30 p.m. at the Dr. Ricardo Chapa Boardroom Administration Building. Item 15, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by trustee Rivera and a second by trustee Kittleman. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are adjourned. 7-0.